This is very, very important. Queen Camilla is fronting a new documentary tonight. It's set to shine a light on those who have experienced domestic abuse and, of course, their families, including Diana Parks, who's been campaigning tirelessly after her daughter Joanna was killed by her estranged husband.
I simply can't believe, Your Majesty, that it is 8 years since we first met.
Is it 8 years?
Yes.
I'm honestly never, ever going to forget that meeting.
No.
It's engraved on my heart.
In 2016, Safe Lives, the domestic abuse charity, arranged this event where a small number of people would talk the then Duchess of Cornwall through their experiences of domestic abuse.
I remember seeing you sitting there, and I thought, well, goodness, there's somebody of my generation. I tried to put myself in your shoes and thought to myself, well, if it had been my daughter, I don't think I would have been able to sit and be as dignified and as wonderful you were that day.
Well, joining me now is Diana Parks and Joanna's best friend, Hetti Barkworth-Nanton. It's so good to see both of you. It's a remarkable documentary. And really, as Camilla says herself, down to you, down to that meeting. Well, you know, she identified. There's a real bond there, isn't there?
It is absolutely amazing. I'm incredibly humble and very honoured that we have such a good relationship.
No, it's fantastic, and you've been able to help one another and obviously help her with this documentary. What difference do you think it has made to have Camilla on your side?
Oh, amazing. I just think it brings domestic abuse right out into the open, which for years has been hidden away as just another domestic. Please, will anybody who is suffering from abuse go and seek some help somewhere, because just another domestic can lead to a killing.
Well, indeed, as what sadly happened to your daughter. And you have campaigned so strongly. And
with
actually,
Hetti.
with Hetti, no, you're formidable. You are formidable, and it has made a massive, massive difference. It really has. But Hetti, you were saying, you know, in your role with Refuge, that an awful lot of people don't realise. You know, women don't. It's almost like they don't realise that they're being abused in some way.
That's right.
Which seems strange to people on the outside, that they wouldn't realise.
It does seem strange. I think it's still the case today that people think that domestic abuse is all about violence and a hit in the face and bruises and blah, blah, blah. Domestic abuse is very, very complex these days. We talk about coercive and controlling behaviour, which manifests itself in many, many different ways, but actually is a pattern of behaviour which leads the victim to feel completely worthless. They will be isolated from their friends, from their family. They might be being tracked through digital devices, so technology plays a role these days. Economics plays a role these days, so they limit them in terms of what they have access to. So it's a pattern of behaviour over time, and as such, it takes victims of domestic abuse more than 5 years on average to reach out for help, because it takes them that long to realise that they're in the situation that they're in.
Gosh, that's terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so, so worrying. That's why this documentary is so important.
Hopefully.
You know, it really is, and why the campaigning that you do is so important, because sadly, even although you managed to make sure that your daughter's killer stays in jail and didn't get parole, he can reapply. This is the thing. This is, you know, he can reapply, and you're going to have to go through this all again.
He was never going to have parole the way it was, because he had a determinate sentence. So after 13 years, he would have walked out of prison, which is the most frightening thing.
Yeah.
He hadn't been in an open prison. He's regarded as a critical public protection case. So, in fact, he would have come out into public, and who knows what might happen.
If you hadn't taken such a stand.
If we hadn't.
Yeah, I mean, and I know you say, of course, there's an army behind you, isn't there? there are a lot of people who have supported you and who've worked very hard for this. But now it just feels as if this is a really important moment with this documentary tonight. Do you feel as if there will be some sort of change, hopefully?
Well, I sincerely hope so. I think the fact that the Queen has embraced this whole thing is just amazing. And I think the way she does it, with huge compassion and empathy, which will be shown tonight in the film, is just amazing.
No, it is, and like we said, that that the friendship goes back many years. She surprised you with a Pride of Britain award.
I know.
There's all of these things that have gone on, and she's clearly very moved by your story. And the thing about it is, I feel as if this is something that she will not let go of.
Well, she said when Emma Barnett did a programme.
Oh yes, yeah.
In 22, I think it was, that she said. Emma Barnett it had just been announced that the Queen said she'd be known as Queen Consort after Queen Elizabeth died. And Emma Barnett said to her, so what will that mean to you? And Her Majesty now said, well, I do not give up mid-channel. I will see this out.
Right, and that's very much what she's...
Which is what she's doing.
Which is what she's going to do. Hetti, what do you hope from this tonight? From your organisation's point of view, from Refuge point of view, and you really are sitting here talking on behalf of all the people who need your help.
Yeah. I genuinely believe this documentary is going to be a landmark documentary that we will be talking about for years to come. It genuinely is brilliant. I would urge everybody to watch it. The point is, it will help you to really properly understand what domestic abuse really is. And your neighbours, your friends, your loved ones, your colleagues at work, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men are affected by domestic abuse. They will be suffering, and if you don't see the signs, you can't help them.
That's very true.
And so, really, that's, for me and for us at Refuge, certainly, this is a real opportunity to shine a light and ensure that those that need help reach out for help earlier, get the help earlier, and go on to be really strong and incredible survivors.
Because it's also, sadly, I think it's getting better, but I think, sadly, there still is this thing about there's shame and embarrassment and nobody wants to talk about it. And, you feel as if somehow, because you're made to feel, as a victim, you're made to feel somehow it's you're to blame, And that's the thing we have to get rid of, isn't it?
I am amazed, since we started doing this, how many people have come up to me and said, I suffered from abuse.
Do you get that all the time, just when you're around and about shopping?
I cannot tell you how many times I'm told that. People you would never believe.
Gosh. Yeah, because that's the thing.
It's in every walk of life.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter how rich you are, how poor you are, what your job is, what your social standing is.
I know.
Sadly, it's right through society. Exactly. But you're doing such a brilliant job, both of you. Thank you for coming in. It's great to see you. It really is.
I'd just like to add, actually, from a Refuge point of view, the survivors in this documentary are incredible. They're actually survivors that are working with other organisations, but they are incredibly brave in what they're doing. But also from a Refuge point of view, we've got some wonderful ambassadors in the film as well. Patrick Stewart is there talking about his own childhood experience.
He's been very good to
us.
And of course, your very own Ranveer Singh, talking about domestic abuse and the realities of what it looks like. So, just huge thanks to everybody.
Absolutely. Well, it's unmissable. Thank you both.
Thank you.
If you've been affected, there are helplines, of course, on our website, but Her Majesty the Queen Behind Closed Doors is on tonight, 9 o'clock on ITV1. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.